Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. C. Satish, Director General Academics, ABS Group of Schools, to give a special message to the students.
Respected Mrs. Vijayalakshmi, Adult Leadership Trainer for Girls, respected Academic Director Mr. Sundaramurthy, respected Principal Dr. Gayatri, the teachers who have assembled here, Mr. Sriram, who is going to propose the vote of thanks, my beloved children who are seated here. At the outset, I would like to congratulate all the students who are going to be invested on this particular day, certain powers for being part of this great moment. You heard our academic director, Mr. Sundaramurthy, highlighting the importance of Scouts and Guides, the very purpose for which it was started. And he aptly explained the expansion of BNP, taking reference from the Director General of Army, Mr. Baden Paul, who started the Scout movement in 1907. My dear children, the Scout movement came into India in 1909 and it was started by Captain T.H. Baker in Bangalore. There was a very specific purpose for starting the Scouts and Guides. In fact, it originated, you should be aware of it, that's why I'm sharing some more details, because being in Scouts and Guides, if somebody asks you, you should be able to explain what this movement is all about. It was started in England, and there was a need felt to start in India. It was started in Bangalore. Originally, the caption for this particular Scout and Guides movement was, it was more said as duty to the king. Duty to the king. Our national leaders changed this particular slogan and it was replaced by loyalty to the country by our national leaders. Loyalty to the country, not attached to the king or queen of any country, and that is very apt. Scouts and Guides, originally if you look at it, if you have to want a little more details about it, was started for the boys, and later on the girls were inducted also into the Scout and Guides movements. A lot of recognition were given to this particular movement by the national leaders. In fact, our former Vice President S. Radhakrishnan started the movement a little more vigorously, in fact encouraged the movement a little more vigorously from 1963. It is a registered body, my dear children, and it goes with the principles of being voluntary, it should not be political, and it should be of a very secular nature. Voluntary, non-political, the second one, and the third one, it should be very secular in outlook. The Scouts and Guides students should be prepared, as AD was mentioning, for any eventuality. For anything you are called for, you should have what's called the sufficient knowledge to act with your presence of mind. And that requires certain type of training on leadership qualities, certain type of materials to make you understand the importance of self-discipline. It can be trained only by people like the lead trainers. I still remember when I was a principal of DAV Gopalapuram, one thing my students used to enjoy being part of the Scouts and Guides is there used to be what is called an annual residential camp, which normally happens at Tonankala, Avadi. It's a one week training where the students should be away from the parents, and all experts in the various fields like first aid, emergency handling of situation, all experts will be called to give a presentation to the Scouts and Guides students, not only from one school, many schools used to come over there. It's a residential program. It happens every year. It was happening until the COVID set in, and now again it has started. And the students used to enjoy because they used to have a first-hand information. And being the students of day school, they used to wait for an opportunity to go to this camp, mingle with students of all other schools, enjoy, and they come with a lot of learning. And eventually what happens is, those students who have taken into Scouts and Guides seriously, who have really learned something useful from Scouts and Guides, go on to NCC when they reach 9th standards. And some of the students, because of the wonderful experience they had initially in the Scouts and Guides, I know with my own experience, they join NCC, and I have seen my students, because of the training they got in Scouts and Guides when they joined NCC, the school where I represent, I want this to happen under Dr. Gayatri's leadership, 6 times, the All India Best Cadet had come to the school where I was a principal because of the effective training they had in Scouts and Guides. So effective is going to be your training program. You're going to make use of it. It will be a turning point in your life. As the AD was mentioning about it, and Dr. Gayatri also highlighted in her welcome address, lot of what's called disciplines going to happen at the intellectual level, emotional level also. You're going to be strengthened at the intellectual level, emotional level. You will have a different perspective itself about the social needs and the society in large, and you'll have what's called a broader vision about our country. As I said, originally it was the more in terms of bowing to the king, and then of course we recoined because our national leaders, they felt the need it should be more to loyalty to the country. The course materials, the principles of Scouts and Guides have been redefined. In fact, the core area is, one is of course, what should be your role in terms of what is called the expectation. Scout is first thing about your need towards, you should have a little bit of attachment towards spirituality. Need to have what is called an attachment towards others. In why others? Spirituality means, of course, not purely in a fanatic manner. There is a need to have what's called some glimpse about the spirituality, there's no doubt about it, not at the fanatic level. Bowing or knowing more about your response towards others. Why? To ensure that there is a harmony. You ensure that you play a role for harmony among your friends. In the process, you take care of our nation itself. So this goes hand in hand. And finally, the Scouts and Guides movement give you what is called glimpses about how you have to be self-disciplined, how you have to develop your leadership quality. Your personality itself will completely change if you take the Scouts and Guides movement seriously and start applying what your lead trainers are giving, because there is a clause to it. The Scouts and Guides movement should be through what's called an adult teacher training, adult leader teacher training. They are only competent to guide you what exactly the Scout and Guides movements. So whenever such a program is going to be organized, you have to be that attentive and ponder over what they have conveyed to you, put into practice, so that the very purpose for which you have joined the Scout and Guide movement becomes what's called a reality, fruitful for the nation which you are representing. We should be very, very proud to contribute for the welfare of our country by abiding by all these things which are going to be shared by the lead trainers as part of the training during your stay with the Scout and Guide movement. I'm sure the students who have enrolled are going to be tremendously benefited in the long run, and it's going to be a lesson for life. I'm thinking the school is, Dr. Gayatri's leadership is taking a wonderful step to have this investor ceremony today. My prayers and my wishes. God bless you, my children. Thank you very much.